Well, good morning everybody, and welcome to this week's Shed Adventure. I've been a bit tardy in my filming, and I'm probably a week behind. So it's great to be back, and we have had a whole raft of new subscribers. So welcome to all the new subscribers. We're getting quite a gang together. Well, today I don't know what you can see of the weather out the window. Not a lot. It is howling with wind. It is cold, and Shed HQ, although it's been built to fairly good building standards, it's cold, wet and damp. So I have a good old mug of tea. I was going to get the primer stove on, but I've put the oil-fired radiator on, as I think that will be a bit quicker. So what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about today? Well, I've had a good look around Shed HQ amongst all the things from our past, and I could talk to you about a 45 Weber carburettor that used to be on a Rally Mini I had, or a satellite, or all sorts of all sorts of interesting things. But what caught my eye, sat on the window ledge just over there, was this little beauty. Now, what is that? Well, I wanted to really have a chat today about the best toys ever. Toys of the, well, I was born in 58, so toys of the 60s, maybe very early 70s. So this is a Mamod steam tractor. I do believe, I think they're back in production after years of being, they are so popular. If you go onto eBay, you'll see you can get all the bits for these. I've just got a new spring. You can see a little drive spring. The original one literally fell off, so that came off eBay. But I haven't really done much to this, as you can see, and I haven't prepped it up today. I've just taken it off the shelf. So this has to be 50 plus years old, I would think. And well, I think some of the toys from my era were just amazing. It allowed you to use your imagination. I was watching my grandson playing with his Xbox and playing with his virtual reality headset, fighting and doing whatever he was doing, and I don't know. I do sound like a very old fogey now, but I do think we had great imagination. I can remember the things I used to do, my Airfix soldiers and my action men and my Lego, and beautiful toys like this that were made to last, made to teach you all about steam and how a steam engine worked, and allowed you to play with fire and meths and hot water and get burnt hands, all those little things that I think youngsters miss today. But yes, oh dear, I sound like my father. So why don't we start it up? Let's have a go. And I've replaced the spring, but that's it. So this is the steering. This goes through the chimney, and it is genuinely the chimney. This is a steam engine. While it's a toy, it is a working steam engine. I mean, how brilliant were Mamod to come up with these? And by the way, you can get all different things. You can get rollers. This is the traction engine. You can get static little engines with tools, like saws that work off them, grinding wheels. If you get on eBay, and you'll see the whole raft of different toys that Mamod made. And as I say, I think they're back in production. So this is how you steer it. You screw it into the little bit up there, tighten it up, and you can go left and right with the steering wheel. So that will come off for the minute. Will it come off on its own? Yep. Obviously somewhat bent and battered. Then we have the firebox, which is very realistic, and in here in a minute we'll put our meths. And then we have this cover which unclips at the front and comes off there. And there we're left with our raw steam engine. This is a little whistle. we'll have that going. And this is the piston. And we do have a forward and we do have a reverse and we do have a neutral, so we can get up steam without it going off. There's a little, at the back here, we have a little way into the water, into the firebox as it were, where the water is, into the boiler. That's for draining. And we have here a tiny little, where we put the water in. We'll have to have that open to let the air out. So we'll take both of those out. That will tell me when I've got enough in, because it will dribble out. Now this is quite important, that little device. This is a very old machine, which hasn't been pressure tested. But this is the pressure release valve, and you'll see a tiny little spring. Just make sure, if you've got an old one or you buy an old one, that that is loose and is working, so we know that we can't build up too much pressure. So we need to get some water into the boiler. Now I do remember what came with this was a lovely little red funnel, which has long gone. So I'm going to have to see if I can pour water into the boiler. This could get decidedly messy. I'm not saying much because I'm concentrating. That is not very good. I had this idea that I was going to struggle with this. So none of this is rehearsed, as you can see. So what I do have here is a syringe. And I was thinking, if that still works, maybe the answer is to syringe in some water. That seems to be the better solution. I'm sorry about all the long silences here. I'm just concentrating on what I'm doing. Perhaps I should have prepped it all up before we got the video going, but anyway, we will have right. I think that will be enough water to get us going, because we don't want to run for long. So we'll put that valve back in. There we go, and not too tight, and we'll put, there are little seals on these, so I don't know whether they will have rotted. Then what we'll do is we'll get ourselves some paraffin, some meths, and we'll fill up the little burner with some meths, dribble it on the floor. All shed should smell of meths and paraffin. That should do us nicely. If you'd seen last week's episode, you know we have the secret of fire. Now this mess is super cold. There we go. So we now have our burner. So we'll pop that in there. And now we have a bit of a long wait. I'm thinking I might put you on pause, and I'll come back to you. Oh. Try and get that onto there. That's it. What I'll do is I'll put you on pause, and I'll come back to you when we've got a bit of steam up in about 10 minutes or so. So I'll see you in a minute.